the best offseason moves made by Detroit this year. Let's Talk Lions. Welcome back to an all-new episode here at Let's Talk Lions. My name is Jay. Thank you for hanging out. Long time no see, you could say. But that's because nothing is happening. Literally nothing. It is drier than a cookie that has yet to be dipped in milk. You're like, I know you're going to taste good, but you could be so much better with the milk. You may have noticed a new banner. That's right. Shout out to my friend Dan for gifting me that. I got a new pennant for the set. Something else that I noticed, I recently bought the volume 1 of Spider-Man comics, OG type stuff. But something that I noticed early on in one of the very first comics that they released, they initially introduced Spider-Man as Peter Parker. Well, in this, they made a snafu and they call him Peter Palmer. Then I went down some weird rabbit hole trail of what happened. Turns out that Stan Lee and co just made a mistake and they called him Peter Palmer, and it's published. Weirdest thing. So I guess everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Anyways, this is what happens when you don't make a video for like 10 days. Anything's going to come out of my mouth. Now, with that being said, today I wanted to look at the top 3 moves that I believe Detroit has made so far this offseason. Coming in at number 3, retaining Aaron Glenn. That's right. Keeping Aaron Glenn around, I think, is a top 3 move made by this organization. Plain and simple, this was vital. The Lions needed to keep Aaron Glenn. For years now, we have watched as our defense has just been backsliding, just been going backwards for years. And so with that being said, we bring in Aaron Glenn, and it feels like the first time in a while the Lions have finally skidded to a halt defensively. And I know a lot of people might look at the Lions defense at a quick glance and just say, oh, they were still terrible. They were still bad. The defense was no good. And at a quick glance, yeah, you would be right. However, us Lions fans really saw how Aaron Glenn changed this defense as a whole last season. Now, the defense was plagued with injuries in 2021. However, what Glenn was able to do with a lot of these guys filling in roles was outstanding. Seeing guys like Jerry Jacobs come in as a UDFA and develop, grow, excel was absolutely encouraging, and that's all due to the leadership and the coaching of Aaron Glenn. Last year, Amani Oruwariye stepped up and he was a top-notch corner. He was ranked 3rd in the NFL when it came to interceptions and in QB rating allowed. Tracy Walker as well is a guy who blossomed last year, a guy that we saw a lot of potential, and I think that Glenn, Pleasant, the whole crew really tapped into that. We had a young D-line, a limited linebacking core. Safety was kind of a struggle, obviously, and the injuries everywhere. However, Glenn was able to get this defense to stop the backsliding, plant a foot in the ground, and now this year, I think we're really going to see this defense take those steps forward, those necessary steps, and become a good defense. So these are exciting times. The Lions needed to retain Glenn, and thank God we did. Excited to see what comes from him this season. Coming in at number 2 for off-season moves, the Lions draft selections. Just as a whole. Now listen, I could make an entire video about this. I might just make an entire video about it. But when you look at our selections this NFL draft, we done did it. I mean, Brad Holmes may have just rolled a natty 20. You heard me. Hutch falling to number 2 for Detroit was storybook, to put it at best. Then fleecing the Vikings in order to snag Jameson Williams at 12. Future huge wide receiver for the Lions. Then taking Pascal, a guy that we know they wanted terribly, followed by Rodriguez, Kirby, Joseph. I mean, you name it. This NFL draft for the Lions was outstanding. Seeing these guys throughout rookie minicamp, slowly developing, seeing what the scouts have to say about them, there's a lot of excitement that we're going to get to see translate over to this year. And coming in at number 1, and there will be disagreement about it, but I'm looking forward to having that conversation with you in the comment section. I have the Detroit Lions signing DJ Chark. Now, hear me out. The reason I have Chark coming in at number 1 is not just because of his skill set. It's just as much about signing Chark for his skill set as it is about what this opens up for the wide receiver room as a whole for Jared Goff and our running backs. So not only is signing DJ Chark ranked number 1 for me because of Chark as an individual, as a player, but because of the fullness of the signing. DJ Chark unlocks an entire new level, I believe, for everyone. Chark himself is an absolute stud of a receiver. Between his speed and his size, he's a guy who could take the top off the defense on the outside. I am amped to see him get out there and to make some plays. But what I'm also equally excited about is what this means for the Lions offense as a whole. We saw how incredibly weak the Lions wide receiver core was last year as a whole, to the point where we're bringing in Josh Reynolds halfway through the season, where Amon-Ra St. Brown really starts getting his reps game 8, 9. As a whole, TJ Hawkinson was our best bet, and he's not even a wide receiver. So with the addition of DJ Chark, what this means is defenses have to plan for a lot more. They can't just zero in on Hawk. They can't just say, well, we saw what Amon-Ra St. Brown's capable of. Let's just target him. Let's throw some double coverage. What this means is defenses are going to have to really open up and play, saying, all right, DJ Chark, we know how fast he is, how explosive he is off the line, the way he can get downfield on the outside. So now you're taking care of him. Now Amon-Ra St. Brown has a little bit more breathing room. Now TJ Hawkinson has more breathing room. What this does is it opens up so much more for our offense. DJ Chark will keep defenses, DB, safeties, heads on a swivel. That is huge for the offense as a whole. And Jameson Williams, when he's fully healthy, I'm just saying, this wide receiver room has the capability to be nasty. We watched all last year as our wide receiver room was not a threat at all, and it was devastating. So DJ Chark coming in on the outside is going to keep the defense aware of where he is and have to play to that strength for the Lions. And what that also does is it opens up so much more play action, run pass option for Goff, Swift, Williams, Reynolds, you name it. As a whole, DJ Chark, where I know there's people that look at him and they're like, well, really, what's the return on investment? Really, what does he bring to the table? Well, number 1, I think his skill set in and of itself is valuable enough. However, I really think with that skill set comes defenses being occupied by him. But what do you guys think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. The best 3 moves that the Lions made this offseason. Not gonna lie to you, the AC went and I am sweltering. Tire back. Just looks like Niagara Falls. It ain't great. Also, Peter Parker versus Peter Palmer. Peter Palmer has a terrible ring. And if that's your name, sorry.